Imagine this just for a second. A situation unfolds. High stress, everything on the line. And there are absolutely no do-overs.
None at all.
No hitting rewind. Nothing. It could cost you, well, everything. Your freedom, your future, maybe even your life.
And we're talking moments where every single thing you do, every move, every piece of training you thought you had, it's all under a microscope.
Exactly. Not just, in your own head afterwards, but maybe in front of a grand jury or a prosecutor or in civil court.
Right. And there's certainly no refund if you get seriously injured because the preparation was just shoddy.
Or bankrupted by a lawsuit that you never saw coming, all because the instruction you received was, well, fundamentally flawed.
It's not just theory. This is the stark reality for anyone involved with firearms.
So today, on the deep dive, we are really jumping into the deep end here. A topic that hits right at the core of personal safety, exercising freedoms responsibly and legally, and honestly, preserving life itself.
Yeah, it's heavy stuff.
We're doing an exhaustive look at something absolutely critical: the importance of proper licensed firearms instruction.
That word licensed is key.
It really is. Our mission today, to dig into the sources you've shared with us, pull all those vital nuggets of knowledge, the insights you really need.
We want to equip you, the listener, with what you need to navigate this complex and sometimes genuinely dangerous world of firearms training.
It's about being truly informed, not just, how to use a firearm safely, but understanding the instruction behind it, the foundation.
The legitimacy of it all.
Okay, let's unpack this.
What's fascinating here, and really what makes this so urgent right now, is how much the landscape has changed.
How so?
Our sources are pointing to a really alarming trend in the firearms training industry, especially, say, over the last decade or so.
Okay.
There's been this, well, an explosion, really. A huge increase in people calling themselves instructors.
I think I see where this is going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You scratch the surface and you find they often lack the state-level licenses, the real credentials. And maybe the most worrying part, they lack a fundamental grasp of the risks they're taking on and the risks they're exposing their students to.
So it's not just about paperwork missing.
Oh, not at all. This isn't some minor bureaucratic thing. Our source material is crystal clear. These unlicensed, uncredentialed trainers, they aren't just operating in some kind of legal gray zone.
Right.
No, they are profoundly dangerous, inherently so.
And that danger isn't just on the range, is it?
It extends everywhere. To the student trusting them, maybe with their life savings, definitely with their safety and legal future, to their families.
And these are the bigger organizations.
Absolutely. Think police departments, security companies, if they accidentally hire someone like this, huge liability risk, major problems for their own people.
Wow.
So the core argument, it's pretty simple, but also chilling. Training with the wrong person, trusting an illegitimate instructor, it can be catastrophic. The ripples go far beyond just that one training day.
That warning just jumps out, doesn't it? Training with the wrong instructor could cost you your freedom.
It's blunt, but it's accurate.
It really highlights how there's zero room for error. No harmless mistakes here. No mulligans, like you said.
None.
But someone listening might think, hang on, my uncle's been shooting for 30 years. He knows guns. Or maybe this guy's a crack shot. Surely he can teach me.
Right. That's a common thought.
So how does someone who just lacks, a piece of paper, a license, how can they be so dangerous? What's the mechanism? How does their lack of qualification turn into actual severe harm?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it goes way beyond just being a good shot. Firearms training inherently carries massive risks, life-threatening risks. You're dealing with tools designed for lethal force, often under stress, in dynamic situations.
Right.
That's precisely why legitimate professional training isn't just designed to manage those risks. It's meticulously engineered to mitigate them.
It's engineered how?
Through structured lesson plans, that build skills progressively, by sticking to certified protocols, industry standards, by following state-approved safety procedures rigorously.
Procedures that probably came from hard lessons learned, I imagine.
Exactly. Decades of refinement, learning from accidents, professional development. The danger with the unlicensed guy, they almost always lack this framework, this deep understanding of risk management.
They don't have the discipline.
Or the knowledge. They might not just miss a step. They might not even know the steps exist. They're operating without the safety net of proven processes.
Okay, that makes sense. Can you give us some concrete examples? How does this play out in the real world?
Yeah, absolutely. The source material provides some chilling examples. Let's talk about simunitions first.
Okay, those are the marking cartridges for force-on-force training.
Right. Non-lethal, used to simulate real defensive encounters.
Huh.
Very valuable training tool if used correctly.
Big if.
Huge if. In one case described, a civilian was in this supposed professional force-on-force training. The instructor, the self-proclaimed one, allowed a situation where this person was shot point blank in the neck.
Oh my God. With a simunition round.
With a marking cartridge, yes. And this wasn't just a simple accident, it was a total breakdown of safety. Just staggering negligence.
How so? What went wrong?
Well, for starters, no throat guard, which is absolutely basic, fundamental protection for any force-on-force, especially near the neck.
Okay, yeah, that seems obvious.
Then, no medical plan. No trained medical personnel on site. Not even a proper trauma kit readily available, despite the known risks of this kind of intense training.
Wow. Just unprepared.
Completely. And critically, no dedicated range safety officer. No RSO whose only job's to watch for safety, enforce the rules, stop things before they go bad.
Those aren't optional extras in real training, are they?
Not even close. They are non-negotiable basics for legitimate force-on-force. The result here. The round hit the carotid triangle. Very vulnerable spot.
Major blood vessels there.
Exactly. Rendered the person unconscious almost instantly. Immediate medical crisis. And, predictably, the source notes, the injured person sued the instructor and won.
Because it wasn't just bad luck.
It was a direct result of ignoring fundamental safety, a failure of oversight. The instructor just didn't know or didn't care about the basics needed to protect people. It shows the massive gap between just owning a gun and being a qualified instructor.
That's terrifying. Is there another example?
Unfortunately, yes. Even more tragic, involving range negligence. This was a supposed tactical pistol course.
Okay.
Students were being told to draw loaded Glocks from appendix carry on a hotline.
Appendix carry. That's inside the waistband, near the front. Very close to the femoral artery.
Precisely. It's an advanced technique, high risk, especially for reholstering, requires extreme discipline, definitely not for beginners.
And these students, were they experienced?
That's the horrifying part. The instructor hadn't confirmed any prior firearms experience from the students. Basic vetting, absolutely fundamental for any course, let alone one involving high-risk draws like that.
So you just can't have people doing that without knowing their skill level.
You absolutely cannot. It's unbelievably irresponsible. And the outcome was, tragically, predictable. One student shot themselves right through the femoral artery.
Oh, no.
Massive blood loss. They bled out and died before EMS could even get there.
That's just heartbreaking.
And the instructor?
No state license, no liability insurance, nothing. Absolutely no legal defense when the lawsuits and criminal investigations inevitably started.
Just profound irresponsibility.
Criminal irresponsibility, really.
Yeah.
They were completely unprepared for the worst-case scenario, which, in firearms training, you always have to plan for. Always.
These stories really drive home the point.
They do. And it brings us to a quote our source uses from Kenneth R. Murray of the Reality-Based Training Association, the RBTA.
Okay, what does he say?
He says, there is a very real possibility of putting participants in physical, emotional, and legal jeopardy if corners are cut or staff are unknowledgeable.
Physical, emotional, and legal jeopardy. That covers a lot. It really does. It's not just the injury itself, as awful as that is. It's the trauma for everyone involved, the victim, their family, the other students who saw it happen.
And then the legal nightmare.
Exactly. Criminal charges, civil suits. The analysis here is key. The most dangerous instructors are often the ones who don't even realize the risks they're creating.
The don't know what they don't know problem.
Precisely. They might shoot well, but they lack the systematic knowledge. Instructional design, safety protocols, legal implications, emergency management, all the stuff a real instructor knows inside and out.
So general lack of knowledge might be forgivable sometimes?
Maybe. We all learn.
Yeah.
But a lack of qualified instruction, deliberately or negligently skipping the credentials, ignoring the safety rules, not understanding the responsibility of teaching someone to use a deadly weapon.
That's different.
That is absolutely not forgivable. It's a breach of trust. It's dangerous. It's basically inviting disaster.
Those examples are incredibly powerful, showing the immediate physical cost. But let's shift gears a bit. You mentioned legal jeopardy. Let's talk about the legal danger.
Right. Which can be just as destructive, maybe even more insidious over the long term.
Here's where it gets really interesting. The idea that bad training can come back to bite you in court. years later.
Yeah, this is something people really need to grasp. It's not just about avoiding accidents during training. It's about the lasting impact if you ever actually have to use what you learned in self-defense.
So the legal side, how serious is this?
Extremely serious. The source is unambiguous here. It warns very starkly. If you get instruction from someone who isn't properly licensed, who doesn't meet the standards,
Okay.
and you then use a weapon in self-defense, a situation where everything you did is going to be dissected, there's a very real chance you could be held liable criminally and civilly for how you were trained.
Wow. Not just for what you did, but for the training itself.
Exactly. This isn't some legal theory. It's happening now in courtrooms.
So how does that play out? What happens in court?
Well, imagine you're in that legal battle after a self-defense incident. The prosecutor or the lawyer suing you. They're not just looking at the event itself.
They dig deeper.
They dig deep into your preparedness, your mindset, the whole foundation of your actions. And a huge part of that scrutiny, it's aimed squarely at your training.
Makes sense.
Our source lists the kinds of questions they will ask. Questions designed to pick apart your defense, to paint you as negligent or reckless.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Okay, first, who trained you? Simple question, right? But it's the starting point for checking the legitimacy of your knowledge base.
Right. What's next?
Then, the big one, were they licensed? Did they have the right state or federal certifications for that instruction?
And if the answer is no?
Huge red flag.
Yep.
Immediately calls into question the quality, the validity, the legal defensibility of everything you learned.
Okay. What else?
Was the training curriculum approved? Did it meet industry standards? They want to know if it was a recognized, vetted program or just something your instructor kind of made up.
Which could leave out critical safety or legal points.
Precisely. They'll also ask about the environment. Were safety protocols documented? Were they followed? This goes to professionalism, risk management.
And the ultimate question.
Probably this. Can you prove your training met the legal standards of your state for use of force, for self-defense?
Prove it, not just say it.
Exactly. Can you show with documents, with credible evidence, that your training was legitimate, thorough, and legally sound?
And sounds tough if the training wasn't, well, legitimate.
It's nearly impossible. And here's the absolute kicker, the part that catches so many people out, according to the source.
That's not.
And no, but I didn't know isn't a legal defense.
Really? You can't just say you didn't know the instructor wasn't licensed.
Nope. Ignorance is no excuse. The burden is on you, the student, to do your homework, to ensure you're getting proper, legally recognized training.
So if your instructor wasn't authorized,
you could face criminal charges for negligence or civil liability for damages, all because of tactics you were improperly taught, or maybe critical legal info you were never given.
that seems particularly relevant in certain places.
Definitely. Especially in states with complex use of force laws, duty to retreat states, for instance, or places like Florida, which the source mentions, where self-defense laws mean your training background gets intense scrutiny.
Okay.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, your choice of instructor isn't just about learning to shoot straight. It's about building a rock-solid, legally defensible foundation for your actions.
So you can stand up in court and say, my actions were reasonable, and here's the legitimate training to back it up.
That's exactly it. Confidence backed by proof.
That really shifts the perspective. So if unlicensed is so dangerous, legally and physically, let's talk about the solution. What does licensed actually mean in practice?
Right. Good question.
Because, it could just sound like red tape, bureaucracy. But what does it really give you, the student? What are the pillars of legitimate training?
Excellent way to put it. And yeah, our source is clear. Licensing is way more than just bureaucracy. It's the main tool governments use to try and weed out incompetence. And most importantly, to ensure public safety. It's the state saying, okay, this person meets a minimum standard we trust to teach these critical, potentially lethal skills. It's a quality control mechanism.
Can you give some specific examples? What does that look like?
Sure. In Florida, for example, if you want to teach firearms for armed security guards or PIs, you need a specific Class K license.
And getting that involved.
Oh, it's rigorous. Background checks, extensive ones, ongoing. Minimum classroom hours, not just on shooting, but on teaching adults, ethics, methodology.
So how to actually teach.
Exactly. Plus, demonstrated shooting proficiency at a high level. And critical legal training on use of force, liability, instructor responsibilities.
And outside of state licenses.
You have major organizations setting standards, the NRA, Lexipol, which provides policy and training for public safety, even the Department of Justice, They define what makes training techniques and policies legally defensible.
These aren't just suggestions, though.
Not at all. They're detailed frameworks designed to hold up under intense legal examination after something happens.
So a certified trainer has to follow specific rules.
Absolutely. It goes way beyond just getting the initial license. They have to follow mandatory curricula. The content is vetted, approved, proven, not just winging it.
Okay.
They have to conduct strict safety briefings before any live fire or force on force. Everyone knows the rules, emergency plans.
Range protocols, too.
Strict adherence to range protocols, managing risk, controlling the environment, and crucially, documentation. Meticulous records, waivers, proficiency scores, certificates, everything auditable.
That whole systematic approach is the difference maker.
Fundamentally, it's what separates a professional from someone just calling themselves an instructor.
So let's bring it back to the student. What does all this mean for you when you choose a licensed instructor? What are the protections?
It means the instruction itself has been reviewed, vetted, recognized. That's a layer of official credibility you just don't get otherwise.
Okay. And practically?
Practically, you're protected on multiple fronts. First, professional liability insurance. Legitimate instructors carry it for a reason. It's your financial safety net if something unexpected does happen.
That's huge. What else?
Legal documentation. Proof of your training, its legitimacy, your agreement to safety rules. That's your paper trail.
And the training itself.
You're protected by their adherence to standards. Standards that will stand up in court or if you're a pro before an internal affairs board.
This raises an important question. When your freedom or career might be on the line, how much is that multi-layered protection worth?
Exactly. It's not just a piece of paper. It's a shield, a necessary one.
That's a really strong argument for licensed instruction. But, danger isn't always obvious. Some instructors can seem really impressive, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Flashy website, lots of gear, maybe some wild stories.
Yeah. So how do you, the listener, spot the red flags? What are the warning signs that scream unsafe, even if the person seems super charismatic or authoritative?
This is where guidance from groups like the Reality-Based Training Association, the RBTA, is gold. They list red flags precisely because danger can wear a very convincing mask.
Like the tactical guru type.
Exactly. Lots of jargon, promises of turning you into an elite operator overnight. But it often falls apart under basic scrutiny. You need to see past the hype.
So let's break down those specific red flags from the source. What should people look out for?
Okay, number one, and this is a total deal breaker.
Yeah.
If they cannot provide clear, verifiable proof of state-level certification or professional liability insurance. Full stop. Red flag.
We talked about why licensing matters legally. Insurance is the practical safety net.
Absolutely. No insurance means if there's an incident, even a minor one leading to a medical bill, you could be on the hook. No recourse, no safety net, period. It's negligent operation.
Okay, that's clear. What's next?
Second, huge warning sign. They don't do proper pre-training safety briefings, or they don't have clear, documented medical emergency plans.
That just seems like basic common sense for firearms.
It is basic common sense, but you'd be shocked. A pro will meticulously cover every safety rule, emergency procedure, range command before anything happens. They'll have a plan. No plan. They're gambling with your life. Gross negligence.
Frightening. What else signals danger?
Third, and this should send you running, if they encourage super risky drills without the right protection or specialized control.
Like what kind of drills?
The source mentions things like close quarters muzzle contact, getting the muzzle of a loaded gun way too close to someone, that violates fundamental safety rules.
Our rule 2, never point the muzzle.
Exactly. Or live fire force on force without protection. That's just reckless endangerment unless done under the absolute strictest protocols by highly specialized trainers with full gear, helmets, vests, throat protection.
So if they're doing that kind of stuff casually,
they're actively, knowingly putting you in extreme danger. It's playing Russian roulette with safety.
Got it. Any other flags, maybe more subtle ones?
Yeah, a fourth one. No clear documentation, no formal course objectives stated up front, no defined testing standards to see if you actually learned anything.
So you don't even know what you're supposed to achieve.
Right. A legit program gives you a certificate, tells you the goals, measures your skill, no structure, no accountability. That suggests a haphazard, unprofessional approach. Not legally defensible, like a college class with no syllabus or grades, but with guns.
Yeah, paints a picture.
The source sums it up perfectly, no mincing words. If you see any of these red flags, then you're not in training. You're in a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Not hyperbole, just a warning.
A very sober, necessary warning. These aren't small things. They're fundamental indicators of an unsafe, unqualified, possibly illegal situation. Trust your gut. Use this checklist.
That list is super helpful for spotting the bad apples. But let's flip it. How can you proactively protect yourself? What questions should you ask before signing up? Before paying?
Right. This is about being your own first line of defense, being a smart consumer, basically.
So what's the checklist for vetting an instructor? What should they be able to answer instantly, no sweat?
Okay, essential questions. Number 1, what specific licenses or certifications do you hold? Don't accept vague answers. Ask for specifics. Class K in Florida, NRA law enforcement instructor, state POST certified.
And a real pro won't mind being asked.
They'll be proud to tell you. They expect responsible students to ask. They'll likely have them readily available.
Okay. Question 2.
Are you insured? Do you carry professional liability insurance specifically covering firearms instruction?
Oh.
We keep hitting this, but it's vital.
Say it again. No insurance.
Equals no safety net, period.
Yeah.
If they don't have it, they're operating negligently. Huge risk for you. Walk away.
Got it. Third question.
Do you have verifiable references? Can they give you contacts? Past students, agencies, companies who can vouch for their training quality and safety?
Not just website testimonials.
Right. Real people or organizations you could potentially check with. Peer validation matters.
Makes sense. Fourth.
Do you use a standardized curriculum? This is key. And remember the source's warning, I make my own stuff, is not an acceptable answer.
Why is standardized so important again?
Because standardized curricula from NRA, state programs, etc. are developed by experts, vetted for legal defensibility, designed for safety and progressive learning, someone making it up as they go. It's a gamble. They might miss crucial safety steps or teach legally unsound tactics.
You need that proven methodology.
You do. You need legally sound, proven methods, not just personal opinions.
Okay, and the last essential question.
Do you provide comprehensive documentation? Formal certificate, safety policies you sign off on, waivers, requalification schedules if needed.
This is the proof, the paper trail.
Exactly. It's your proof of training, proof you understood the safety rules. It's crucial for your legal protection down the road, evidence of your due diligence.
And the final piece of advice on asking these.
Crystal clear from the source. If they're offended by those questions, walk away.
No hesitation?
None. It's not about being rude. It's about your safety, your legal future, maybe your life. A legitimate instructor understands why you're asking. Offense, hesitation, deflection, massive red flag, unsafe situation. Don't compromise here.
That's powerful, practical advice. So let's pull back again. Why does this matter so much for everyone? Is this just for, the high-speed operators, or does it apply across the board?
Across the board, no question. Our source stresses this. Whether you're a regular armed citizen thinking about home defense, a security guard on duty, a police officer honing skills, your training is your legal foundation.
That phrase again, legal foundation. Let's unpack that a bit more.
It means building that documented, verifiable record. What did you know? When did you know it? How are you prepared through legitimate training to act under extreme stress?
So it's not just about hitting the target.
Far from it. If you ever have to use a firearm, especially in self-defense, every single aspect will be picked apart, often by people trying to prove you were wrong. Your training records, their evidence.
The curriculum, the instructor's credentials, the safety protocols.
All of it. That foundation lets you stand up and say, my actions were reasonable, they were proportionate, and they were based on sound, professional, legitimate training. Without that, your defense can just fall apart.
Even if you felt justified at the time.
Right. Your actions could be painted as reckless or negligent simply because the training behind them wasn't credible.
The source used an analogy here, right? About lawyers.
Yeah, a really powerful one. Choosing an unlicensed instructor is like hiring a fake lawyer to represent you in court.
Wow. Okay, that hits home.
Think about it. You'd never trust your freedom to someone who didn't pass the bar, wasn't licensed, had no malpractice insurance, right? You wouldn't hire Uncle Bob, the fake lawyer, for a serious case.
Of course not.
Yet, with firearms training where stakes involve life and death, physical harm, maybe prison people sometimes gamble. They look for cheap or easy or convenient and end up with someone unqualified.
Bypassing the legit channels.
Exactly. And by doing that, you are literally putting your freedom, your future, maybe your life, in the hands of someone who shouldn't be teaching anyone. A fraud, essentially, in the eyes of the law and safety standards.
The parallels are really stark.
Undeniable. The consequences are just as dire. It's not just skill acquisition, It's future-proofing yourself legally and ensuring you're truly prepared.
That really crystallizes the stakes for absolutely everyone. So we've unpacked a lot here. The dangers, the protections, how to vet. So what does this all mean? What's the big takeaway?
I think the core message from this deep dive is just incredibly clear, and yeah, it needs shouting.
Yeah.
There is a fundamental life and death difference between legitimate, defensible firearms training and dangerous, unqualified instruction.
Right. That distinction is everything. Our source wrapped up with a final word that really stuck with me.
Which one is that?
Good training isn't cheap. Cheap training isn't good.
Yes, so true. It's not just a catchy phrase, it's the reality born from countless bad outcomes and legal fights.
Quality costs money, doesn't it?
It does. The expertise, the insurance, the facilities, the ongoing professional development for good instructors, it all costs. Cutting corners on price almost always means cutting corners on safety, quality, and legal defensibility.
A false economy.
With potentially tragic results.
And the responsibility, ultimately, it lies with us. The students, the citizens, the professionals.
It has to. We don't accept unlicensed doctors or electricians because the risk is too high. The safe, legal, responsible use of a firearm demands that same standard. Professional licensed instruction. It's not just about hitting paper. It's about life, death, and your legal future.
The source provider, Valortech, they state their commitment pretty clearly on this.
Yeah, no cutting corners, no paper for pay, no playing fast and loose with safety or legality.
And that's the standard we should all be demanding, right?
Yeah.
For ourselves.
Absolutely. That uncompromising standard is essential. Because really, the final thought here is that when it's real, when everything is truly on the line, there is absolutely no room for amateur hour.
Zero.
So this whole deep dive, it really pushes you, the listener, to think hard. What does investing in verifiable, legitimate training actually mean for you? For your preparedness, your safety, your legal standing when things go sideways?
It's not an if, maybe, but a when.
Could be. So reflecting on all the accidents, the court cases, ask yourself honestly, how would you prove your training was legally sound if your life or your freedom depended on it tomorrow?
That's the question to ponder.
Definitely. What stood out to you from this that changes how you'll look at training from now on? Because knowing this stuff, acting on it, that's your best defense. The consequences of getting it wrong are just too immense to ignore.